Pull, Dr. Pull these people early. I'll wait till they get off. I'll wait till they get off. And now, please welcome to the stage Dr. Christopher Boyd, Executive Director of the Epicenter, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Good evening and welcome to Riverside Epicenter. Excellent. We're excited to have you all here in the building with us tonight. If you will, please bow your heads for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we pause tonight with hearts full of gratitude, acknowledging that every good and perfect gift comes from you. We thank you for the vision, the courage, and the unity that brought us to this moment, the inaugural State of the City for Mableton, a community that dared to dream and had the faith to build. Lord, we thank you for Mayor Michael Owens and our city council members, City Manager Bill Tanks, and every member of the city staff. In just over a year, you have worked through their hands, their minds, and their hearts to turn vision into reality. Where there was little, you have brought increase. And where there was uncertainty, you have provided clarity. And where there were challenges, you have given strength. Tonight, we pray for continued wisdom for these leaders as they steward the resources and opportunities entrusted them. Grant them discernment to make decisions that bless the lives of every citizen, every family, every business, and every stakeholder in Mableton. May they lead with integrity, serve with compassion, and inspire hope through their example. Father, we pray for the people of this great city, the heartbeat of Mableton. Strengthen our unity, deepen our sense of community, and help us to remember that we rise together when we work together. Finally, Lord, we dedicate this gathering to you. Let tonight's words inspire, tonight's plans prosper, and tonight's vision take root in ways that bless generations to come. We believe that what has begun here will echo far beyond this room, leaving a lasting legacy of service, excellence, and impact. We ask all this in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, please welcome William Bill Tanks, City Manager of Mableton. Title slide.
All right, I'm gonna try to stick to this script because Ms. Herndon has a bet the top 3 talkers in the city of Mableton, and she ranked us. And I thought for sure I would be number 3. So she ranks Mr. TJ Ferguson, Councilman Ferguson, is the #1 talker. I thought the mayor would be #2, but she made me #2. So I'm going for that 3rd spot tonight, Ms. Herndon. I just want you to know that. All right, want to welcome everyone here tonight to our inaugural State of the City address. This occasion marks both our city's remarkable progress and collective spirit that brought us here. Mableton's journey to cityhood was forged through determination and unity in the face of significant challenges, economic uncertainty, infrastructure constraints, complex negotiations, service delivery stuff, and high expectations of a new city. Through it all, our council, city staff, residents, and business community displayed extraordinary resilience. Our success is built upon the integrity and vision of our elected officials, the commitment of our hardworking staff, and the active engagement of our citizens and businesses. Thanks to everyone's dedication, we turned early obstacles into momentum for the future. Today, Mableton stands strong, fiscally sound, strategically positioned, and firmly committed to transparency, equity, and excellence. Our successful transition as of June 27, 2025 includes the launch of core city services and the establishment of vital intergovernmental partnerships. And to our council and staff, I extend my deepest gratitude. Your support during my most personal trials reminded me that leadership is not only about decision-making, but shared humanity. The foundation we have built together ensures a bright path ahead. Thank you for being part of Mableton's story and for the success that we have in the role you played. On behalf of our city, welcome to our inaugural State of the City.
Please welcome ETD Dance Studio, Mableton's premier performing arts center, under the direction of Chanel Johnson, performing A Million Dreams.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams that the world could be a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me
A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
for the world we're gonna make.
This evening, as we reflect on the growth and progress of the city of Mableton, we are honored to hear from two women who represent the foundation of our city's story. Please welcome Miss Susan Hyatt, the very first employee of the city of Mableton, and Miss Lily Smith, our first full-time employee.
Thank you, and I would like to thank Mayor Owens and the council for allowing me to share my experiences of the first year of the city of Mableton. The city of Mableton's first meeting was on May 11th, 2023, and was held with a standing room only at the Epicenter. The attendees were interested and engaged residents. That was my first positive impression of working with the city of Mableton and the residents who were nice and cared about their community. Unlike the city of Brookhaven, where I previously worked, there was no governor's commission or transition team for Mableton. Before my first day at Brookhaven as its city clerk, the governor's team of 5 had already processed and received requests for proposals and qualifications and all kinds of other purchasing paperwork for services and staffing. They had an office leased and secure with furniture and computers and phones in place and much, much more. I remember on May 11th, at the first transitional meeting, there was an executive session held for litigation. The city had a lawsuit challenging the city's incorporation. However, I was excited about working with a professional, dedicated mayor and council. I was there when they began the setting up of the city of Mableton with no transition team or commission. In the beginning, it was the clerk, a part-time financial consultant, and an attorney that was talented and experienced in startups of new cities. This mayor and council did an outstanding job managing the meeting and the many challenges ahead in the startup of the city of Mableton. The Epicenter provided at no cost the temporary meeting site for the special called transitional meetings. And James Hammond of Icon volunteered the videography services for the meetings for an entire year. The residents expressed often how they wanted communication and contact information, and our mayor and council heard that, and Councilmember Ferguson created the city's first website and domain, mableton.gov. And Mayor Owens set up the phone system, Google Workspaces, security boundaries, email accounts, and much more technology responsibilities. Our outstanding attorney, Emilia Walker Ashby, got the right ordinances in place, IGAs, franchise fees coming into the city, business license processes started, and much more. I like to hear it when Emilia talks about once we didn't even have enough money to buy toilet paper. Mayor Owens and finance consultant got banking accounts in place, the federal ID numbers, and other financial requirements for cityhood. It's almost like, well, it is like starting a new business. There's a lot of paperwork and red tape. I had no large printer or for heavy printing, so Attorney Walker Ashby's office conducted the printing of the paper agendas for the meetings. Often, I was a city clerk with no printer and did not have a printer until we finally rented an office space in the Epicenter co-loft office areas on the second floor. In June 2023, council members Davis, Jeffcoat, Ferguson, and the mayor attended the Georgia Municipal Association's conference in Savannah for their first major training. The Georgia Municipal Association, as we call GMA, waived the cost until the city had money. It was on a go now and pay later plan. The city paid GMA months later. We had good credit. In July 2023, the entire mayor and council had a 3-day crash training at the Georgia Municipal Association's office in downtown Atlanta. In August 2023, Councilwoman Oladapo, who worked so hard that for those few months that we had started the city, welcomed her new baby into the world. We called it the council baby. In September 2023, the mayor and council had a mission and vision setting session with GMA again. Mayor Owens and I trained for Paycom, an HR software system, and we, the mayor and I, conducted the very first payroll in October 2023. 5 months after the city started, no pay was prior to that. In December 2023, an insurance consultant told us that there was no interest in providing health insurance to the city of Mableton because the city did not have enough employees. Again, GMA, and they are here, have representation here tonight, GMA stepped up and provided insurance benefits, workers' compensation, property and casualty insurance, and other services. Thank you, GMA. I also often remember, and I remember this a lot, one cold winter night, the mayor pulled my first city-owned phone and laptop from the back of his car. In the late evening, it was after a long executive session. Councilmember Ferguson and the mayor had purchased and set up the phones and laptops, and they were finally given to the council and staff. Prior to then, we used our own personal phones and laptops. Lily Smith, right here. Lily was the next position hired in November 2023 as executive assistant to the mayor. She took on HR duties along with the mayor to start hiring additional staff. She was instrumental in securing the hiring of the business license clerk, Nairi Simpson, who came on board in February 2024, who later provided an important service and revenue stream for the city. The money was starting to come in: business license, franchise fees. Lily worked at the Epicenter, often in the cafe on the second floor, or other spaces where she could find to sit. The mayor, the financial consultant, or I could be found meeting with Lily in the cafe. During the first year, Councilwoman and Mayor Pro Tem Jeffcoat was searching for buildings to lease for the city. She also was instrumental in team building and working toward the council's planning sessions. I remember the March 2024 planning conference at the Doubletree located near Cumberland and the Galleria. She and I spoke with the hotel staff, watching every penny, cutting items off the hotel snacks and breakfasts to keep costs as low as possible. For savings, Executive Assistant Lily Smith purchased snacks from the Family Dollar and brought them into the sessions. In April 24, our first city manager, Bill Tanks, came on board. And with the mayor and council support and under the attorney's advice and guidance, staff are now in leased buildings and the city's departments are up and running. And at this time, I would like to introduce our department heads. They are the best of the best. They're outstanding. They're the A-team, and Mr. Tanks helped stream the selection of these fabulous directors. And then after that, Lily will recognize some of our important people in the audience. Our first director is Francois. He's our IT director. Could you stand? Then Gregory Woods, the communications director. Mallory Miner is our court administrator. She's working on getting the court set up. Emilia Groth is our Emilia Walker Ashby is our wonderful city attorney. Jean Pope is the new HR director who is starting this month.
Started today.
Alejandro Farrell is our code enforcement director, and he's been working very hard. Karen Ellis, our finance director. She has money to work with now. Artie Jones is our economic development director. Michael Hughes, our community development director. Candace Fields has been doing the HR functions. She's our human resources manager. Emily Groth, our sustainability, waste, and beautification director. And then there's me. Now, in the beginning, Lily was our executive assistant to the mayor, which was a great job. But she also got promoted. She was our first promotion, and she's administrative supervisor. Lily?
Good evening. My name is Lily Smith. I am the administrative supervisor. I will now announce all of the wonderful elected officials that we have in the room. Please briefly stand to be acknowledged. First, my favorite, our council. Post 1, Ron Davis. District, sorry. District 2, Dami Oladapo. District 3, Mayor Pro Tem Keisha Jeffcoat. Post 4, Ms. Patricia Alk. Post 5, Mr. TJ Ferguson. And District, I want to say post. District 6, Ms. Deborah Herndon. I will now announce some others that we would like to acknowledge in the audience. The Cobb County Commission Chairwoman, Ms. Lisa Cupid. Cobb County District 4 Commissioner Monique Sheffield. Our State Rep Terry Cummings. State Rep Tanya Miller. State Senator Michael Rett. State Senator Donzella James. We do have a field representative from Lucy McBath's office. Representative Gabriel Sanchez. Mayor LaRonda Patrick. Mayor Vince Williams. Mayor Derek Norton. Mayor Al Thurman. Mayor Ollie Clemens. Mayor Anthony Ford. Sandra Leverett from Austell City Council, I'm sorry. And then Rick Oglesby from Smyrna City Council. If I have missed anyone, please stand. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Please stay tuned for the City of Mapleton's impact video. Please welcome back to the stage City Manager William Bill Tanks to introduce our mayor.
Champions aren't born in stadiums. They're built in neighborhoods, in moments of doubt, sacrifice, and grit. What makes a city a champion is its people.
I became a mayor of a city overnight of 80,000 people and had no blueprint, no staff, no funding, no anything.
been rewarding. If I summarize it in one word, it's been rewarding. And the reason it's been rewarding is because I lived here for 30-something years. My kids went to elementary, middle, and high school here. I served as a firefighter in this community. And I've always dreamed of Mableton being this community that everybody should be proud of. And when it became a city and I got a chance to be the city manager, you got to think, from being a firefighter to now being a city manager, who would have ever thought?
This is a story of a city that wasn't handed anything, but still rose with vision, unity, and purpose.
I get asked a lot about what is a singular moment or thing I'm most proud about of being mayor thus far over these last 2 years. And I don't really have a singular one, but I tell people that I'm most proud of the fact that we're here and that we're sound, we're strong, the state of our city is strong, and that I'm proud of the work that we continue to do, the work that we've done, and the work that we will do in the future.
Once I got in the door and started working, it was a big sacrifice. There was a lot of things we had to do, work as a team, heavy lift. So I'll say rewarding is my answer, what it's been like to help Mableton kind of get off the ground. But also it's been a lot of work. I've had nights where I didn't go to sleep. So, but it's still been well worth it. You look back and see where we are, I'm very proud of our city. We had a goal. In order to be what you call an active city, you must establish 3 services. You had to adopt a budget, and you had to get through what we call IGAs, intergovernmental agreements with the county. And we were also at a double hit at a 10-year mark where all the cities and the counties had to do this thing called service delivery negotiations. For a new council with no resources to achieve all those goals, for me, the most exciting thing was June 27th of 2025. We achieved all 3 of those goals. And so for me, achieving that on June 27th was very exciting.
There's so many exciting things that have happened and that will happen. You know, first and foremost, the fact of us coming out of a transition period where we had 2 years to become a full city, kind of standing on our own, if you will, but really taking over critical services. I'm happy that we've been able to do that. It started with our business license office, but we've now been able to transition code enforcement, planning and zoning, as well as sanitation. So I'm happy and proud that we've been able to take on these services, but there's so much more to even become.
Milestones that once felt impossible now mark the beginning of a legacy.
One, you have to honor the legacy. You can't just disregard the people that have been here before the city was formed. The businesses, you know, you hear a lot of times in Mableton, people, we don't want this in Mableton, we don't want this, but these folks have been here for years. They're human beings, they have families. This is where they settled down. So what you have to do is, one, honor and respect who they are, where they are, and the businesses that have been here, and some of the communities that have been established here, some of the things that have occurred. Don't look at it with disdain or like, well, it's time for y'all to go, we're here now. No. Thank you for getting us to where we are. And then we want to show you, here's where we can be in the future. Here's who we can be as a city.
This isn't about replacing history. It's about lifting it and about building what's next.
We've also started Mableton 2045, which is our comprehensive plan, which is everything about Mableton which is going to be, and you can tell in a name, it's Mableton 2045. So we're literally looking 20 years out to what the city will become, how our streets will be aligned, how our parcels will be laid out, but more importantly, how we can connect as a community. Starting with the Chattahoochee River, where we have over 5.5 miles of riverfront access. We also have Six Flags Over Georgia, which is a fantastic destination where people locally, including my kids, go to all the time. We also have the Mableton Amphitheater, which is known for having great acts that come in across different arts and entertainment that we're very, very proud of. If you haven't been on the Silver Comet Trail, that is an absolute must. It is a trail that goes all the way to Alabama, where people bike and jog and really engage in that outdoor type of environmentally friendly aspect to athleticism that we want to see in here. We also have a golf course. Many people don't know, but in the corporation of the city of Mableton, we now have Dogwood Golf Course that's actually in the city as well. For those of you who have not attended yet, we are having our Food Truck Fridays, hosted by myself, Mayor Owens, and our Sheriff, Craig Owens, to come out every 3rd Friday for Food Truck Fridays. This is at our Mableton Town Center Park, which is a fantastic opportunity for communities to get together. Folks bring their dogs, they can have an icy, enjoy a hot dog or taco or whatever they want, but it's really one of those great opportunities to bring our community together. So you'll start to see we have a lot of great things to offer our community. We have a lot of great shops and restaurants. Every Saturday, I do what's called Small Business Saturday. You know why? Because every Saturday is Small Business Saturday in the city of Mableton. So from the inception of the city, one of our biggest partners have been the Riverside Epicenter. I want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to Bishop Bronner and to Dr. Boyd, who've been instrumental in helping the city get off the ground. From rock climbing to bowling alley to arcade, this place has it all. If you have not been here, please make sure you check out the Epicenter in its entirety.
We don't build cities for politicians. We build them for parents, for dreamers, for the next generation.
We've also started initiatives around getting our CAB started, which is our commissions, authorities, and boards. These are opportunities where our citizens can truly be engaged. At our second meeting, I announced we were going to have our ethics board, which is now up and running. We also will have a Veterans Affairs Commission, a Seniors Commission, which is our Commission on Aging, and many, many more. So I'm looking forward to getting those off the ground.
You know, you look at the things nobody likes to talk about, but I'll bring them up. You know, you got a lawsuit hanging over your head. You don't know what your financial future is. You got to get 3 services established in so much time. We had no building, no place.
Exactly.
There were no buildings in Mableton, and yet we sit today sitting on at least $6 million in a fund balance, owning about 10 acres of property, 3 structures, well-balanced adopted budget, successful mayor who's now connected not only locally, statewide, but nationally, and that's all happened in the course of what, 2 years?
2 years.
This is just the beginning. We are not backing down. We are Mableton, and we are champions.
Kudos to our city, our council, to you, our staff, our citizens.
Indeed.
Our citizens,
Yes.
that really fuel us. When they come in and say, we support you, when you hear those citizens come in and say, we know what y'all had to do was tough, but we're with you, man, it gives you the energy you need. So kudos to our entire city, with our council, our staff, and I think we got something to be proud about Mableton. That's why I take no prisoners when it comes to Mableton. Do not get in our way if you're not trying to win. If you're trying to win, come on board and join us. So. Testing, 1, 2, 3. No, Miss Herndon, I was not late. I had to go find the mayor. All right, this thing's supposed to be in the middle. All right, I have the distinct honor. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. I gotta get back and crunch. All right, let's get back to work. I have probably the honor of my life to introduce our mayor, Mayor Michael Owens. Before I do that, man, I'm tired, that thing was heavy. Before I do that, I remember coming to that first meeting and Lily and Susan was giving me the scoop on the council. And they was, pointing them out. And when they got to the mayor, I'm not going to tell them what they said about y'all. Lily said, well, the mayor's not a human. He's a Martian. He doesn't eat and he doesn't sleep. I said, really? I said, does he have a girlfriend? And then Susan says, yes, the city. The city is his girlfriend. I said, okay, all right, win. So, good evening, everyone. It's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce a man whose presence has already, let me stop. Public safety personnel, if you are present, please stand so we can thank you. Cobb County Sheriff, Cobb County Police. Where the firefighters at? Represent. Why y'all up there? Well, you ain't got no calls to go to. You're supposed to be down here. We represent. We want to thank our public safety folks, Cobb County's finest, for protecting our city. All right, let me continue. It's a distinct honor and privilege to introduce a man whose presence has already reshaped the trajectory of our city, Mayor Michael Owens. If you go by reputation alone, you may think Mayor Owens is a seasoned politician, a media personality, or simply one of the most well-known figures in our region. And while all of that may be true, spend a few moments with him, as I have, and you'll quickly discover something deeper. Mayor Owens is a Marine, a cybersecurity expert. I can't even log into my computer He won't let me change my picture. A devoted single parent of 2 remarkable teenagers. But more than that, he is a man of extraordinary intellect, humility, and heart. He doesn't let his brilliance overshadow his unwavering commitment to service. His passion for community is not just a talking point. It's a compass that guides every decision he makes. For example, I did not want to do a Mableton anniversary birthday. I said, Mayor, get 1 cake, 1 candle, sing happy birthday, and let's keep it moving. No, he had to have this whole weekend, and I'm glad he did. Wherever he's speaking, whether he's speaking to residents, advocating for resources, or strategizing for the future, Mableton, or the future of Mableton, Mayor Owens leads with empathy, precision, and purpose. What I've come to know about him personally is that Mayor Owens absolutely loves this city. He loves his children. Mama, he loves you. I've never seen him get off course until something happened to you. Then he gets combobulated then. But he loves his children. He loves his mom. And he loves Mableton with a depth that is rare and inspiring. Just the other day, I was kind of spending some time with him, and somebody asked him, would he step down as a mayor if he won the Powerball? And I think that thing's like $1.2 billion or something. And before he could answer, I jumped in and said, absolutely not. You couldn't pay this man not to be the mayor of the city of Mableton, because I know Mayor Owens was born for this. No amount of money, no opponent, no obstacle would deter him from his mission to make Mableton a model city. So tonight, I ask you to join me in welcoming not just our mayor, but a true visionary, a man of integrity, resilience, boundless dedication, my friend, our leader, the inaugural mayor of the city of Mableton, the Honorable Mayor Michael Owens.
Show, but the pain still grows. Some strangers to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
What's up, everybody?
But I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
What's up, everybody? Oh man, are y'all fired up yet? I tell you what, I was backstage about to do a backflip. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who came out here this evening to join us for this inaugural address. Council, thank y'all so much for doing all that y'all do and being here tonight. Madam Chairwoman, thank you. It's an honor to have you here with us. All those public safety officials, thank you all for being here, keeping us safe every day and every night. Did y'all see my Marines out here earlier? Oh, they look good, didn't they? Hoorah, they look very good. Serving this country with honor and prestige. I'm so proud of them. To my fellow mayors, thank y'all for being here tonight. You understand the challenge, the journey, and I think I followed you guys in steps that I hope to continue up the great challenge that you all do. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I give you an official good evening and welcome, because I have the distinct honor and privilege, the great honor of delivering the first ever State of the City address for the great city of Mableton, Georgia. And let me say here at the outset, from the very beginning, let me say the state of our city is strong. The state of our city is strong, it is strong. And the spirit of the people of Mableton is even stronger. We are unshakable. The future of Mableton is as bright as we choose it to be. You know, only 3 short years ago, we weren't a city. We were what's called a census-designated place. We were a name without a government. We were a community without its own voice. We were a place that needed something more. But on November 8th, 2022, the people had a vote. You, the people said, we will be heard. We will be going forward to chart our own
future for ourselves, and we will become a city. Fast forward to May of 2023, Mableton becomes a city and takes its place as the largest, I said the largest city in Cobb County. At nearly 80,000 people spanning over 36 square miles, this area has seen its shares of booms and busts. It's at a place that's built on generations of generosity and grit. This has truly been a place that's yearned to have its own leadership. To those area people in this community, we have a penchant for believing in ourselves. I'll go far as say we bet on ourselves. Why? Because of that generosity and that grit. And as honored as I am to say that I'm the first mayor of the city of Mableton, my mission has never been about being the first. My goal has always been to make sure I'm not the last. Because the truth is, this hasn't been easy. This has been a tough journey. And we've had folks out there that's had other voices, loud ones, voices that said, you can't do it, that Mableton could never make it. They said that you can't start a city from scratch. You can't start a city with no money, with no staff, no playbook, or no roadmap. Where some saw blight, we saw opportunity. Where some saw decline, we saw a rebirth in the making. But before Mableton became a city, there was already organizations around here that was carrying the burden of trying to carry this load of a community. There were groups like the Mableton Improvement Coalition, Austell Community Task Force, Hope Family Restoration Center, and the Family Life Restoration Center as well. I could go on naming others half the night. The fact of the matter is, they did the work. They fed the families. They trained our youth. They stood up for fairness. And then when no one else was in a position to, they built pride in our neighborhoods. They stood in the gap. I know because I was part of those organizations myself. Tonight, we honored their work as well, because without them doing the work, we couldn't exist where we are today. And let me go a step further. Let me tell you this. As your mayor, I pledge that our city will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with our nonprofit organizations, because we know that we are stronger together and each of us have a definitive purpose, place, and cause. Give it up one more time for our nonprofits. Thank you all. And of course, all the accolades aside, no single mayor builds a city alone. Here in the city of Mableton, we have a unique council, a council that differs than many other cities across the country. We have what I call a working council. Our council does not include any attorneys, any business retirees, or any independently wealthy people. What we do have is we work full-time jobs, and several of us are still managing our own children that are going through school. With very little time to come up to speed and everything we had to deal with and being under a microscope, it is to be commendable what this council has been able to accomplish. So with that said, I want to thank each and every one of our council members. Ron Davis, Councilwoman Oladapo, Councilwoman Jeffcoat, Councilwoman Auk, Councilman Ferguson, and Councilwoman Herndon. Thank you for your time, your diligence, your selflessness. You're willing to go above and beyond to help stand this city up. Thank you. You are truly the People's Council, for the people, from the people, by the people. Thank you. You know, each of you have brought a unique voice, and together we stand together to show what it looks like to govern in unity, with purpose, and ultimately to deliver results. So please, once more, give them a round of applause. You know, I'm also incredibly thankful to our earliest partners. You heard them mentioned earlier, many who assisted long before we were ever able to pay them for any of the services. They were around to make sure that we got stood up the way that we should. And there's many here that I could thank, but there's two that was mentioned earlier, and I think it deserves another acknowledgement. First of all, I'd like to thank Bishop Dale Bronner and Dr. Chris Boyd for their time, for standing in the gap when we didn't have anything, and I had to make the phone call and say, we need a place to hold our city council meetings. From that day forward, we've had our city council meetings here every step of the way, and I want to give them gratitude and thanks for that. I also do want to give a shout out to Mr. James Hammond, who's actually made sure that from day one, those who could not physically come to our city council meetings, we made sure that accessibility and transparency was going to be key. So Mr. James Hammond made sure that every one of our videos was streamed from day one. So thank him for that. I also want to take a moment to extend our deepest gratitude to the Georgia Municipal Association, the very, very first organization to step forward and stand with us. From day one, they've been a true partner to Mableton in this journey. I want to especially thank the CEO and president, Mr. Larry Hanson. And I also want to officially acknowledge and thank Mr. Michael McPherson, our district representative as well. You know, they delivered municipal training, as was said before. They gave us foundation. They guided us and gave us the building blocks of governance and really opened the doors for what it meant to be a city. And just weeks after our first meeting, yes, they allowed us to come to the Georgia Municipal Association meeting and welcomed us with open arms at their annual convention, proudly recognizing us as the 536th city in the state of Georgia. You know, through GMA's early guidance, we were able to do much more than just organize a government. They really stressed to us that we really needed to define who we were, what we stood for, and what we were about. So the city council and I got together and we really crafted some key things, which was our core mission, vision, and our core values. These things now serve as a compass for every decision that we make. Our vision is clear: to be a diverse, family-friendly, thriving community, fostering vibrant, safe, and sustainable future. Our mission is really straightforward. It's to provide consistent, cost-effective services with transparency, openness, and responsiveness, always working to ensure the highest quality of life for every single resident. And our core values really hit home. It's honesty, integrity, unity, stewardship, innovation, collaboration, professionalism, respect, teamwork, and excellence. Now, y'all want to repeat that? Those are very key to us and reminds us every single day that building a city is not just about policies and programs, but it's about people, principle, and passion. And through this lens that we created through this effort, these were our principles through the first year of existence, where we qualified for and was recognized as a city of excellence and a city of civility by GMA in our first year. You know, when we became a city, we knew that the road ahead would not be easy. We knew that every day was a work that we had to go forward to building our city. And it was said before, most often it was Lily and I right up there in the cafe, working at a side table, hosting meetings, trying to ignore the Zumba classes that was happening next door. Just focus on the work, Lily, focus on the work. And it was Susan running back and forth from Brookhaven to Mableton, checking in on us about what we were doing. I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Frank Malazzi, who was our initial finance consultant. Thank you, Frank, for the work that you did. Setting up those initial accounts. I remember Frank and I going to open our first bank account, going online to do an SS4. If anyone knows what SS4 is, that is actually what you do to get your EIN. So when people ask me, what are you doing? Hey, Mayor, what's going on? I'm like, I'm filling out paperwork so we can be a city. That's what we do. I'd also like to thank our attorney, Miss Amelia Ashby Walker. She has been a valuable wealth of knowledge throughout the early days, and we leaned on her experience and her understanding of the law to get us through everything that we had to do. And along with our council, that made up the core of the city. That is who we were. That's all we were. A small but mighty, mighty group. And I want to thank all of them for their dedication and their willingness to embark on this journey of cityhood. We had no idea what this was going to be, but we knew we were going to succeed. We knew we were going to work as hard as we could every single day. We realized that the hopes, dreams, prayers, wishes, fears of 80,000 people rested on us. That we had to somehow, through all the challenges and unknowns, that we had to deliver. So the very first service that we took over from the county was our business licenses. Now, I'll be the first to admit, we had a few bumps in the road getting that done. But it was truly one of those now or never opportunities, and we had to get it done. You know, from the beginning, we knew that we were going to have to work harder, faster, smarter, and stronger. We knew that we had to bring in jobs, we wanted investment, and we had to have an opportunity to give to our city of Mableton. We needed to have the right tools in place. That's why within weeks of taking office, I began to work with State Representative Terry Cummings. Where are you, Rep. Cummings? Thank you. Former State Representative Terry Anulowicz and former State Representative Doug Stoner to transform what was then called the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority to our new entity that would serve this city with distinction and honor. So on April 6th of 2024, thanks to the passage of House Bill 1330, we officially stood up the Mableton Development Authority. You know, the Mableton Development Authority is a powerful tool, a very powerful tool to drive economic growth, redevelopment, and community. And I'm happy that we were able to make that happen. And I do want to acknowledge Jason Gaines, who is our chairman of the Mableton Development Authority right here. Thank you for being here, sir. As a matter of fact, I want to thank the entire delegation who made that happen, including Senator Dr. Rett and former Senator Horsina Tate. If you've ever been down at the state capitol when things are going on, things can get a little crazy and it's really unpredictable from day to day. This bill literally came through in the last day, in the last hour, and the last minute. But you know what? It got done. It got done. And now we're here with the Mableton Development Authority, and that is formulating our economic development arm being able to go forward. You know, moving forward in just 18 months, we were able to lay down the bones of our government and our services. Planning and zoning, code enforcement, sanitation and beautification, and economic development. These were the core elements that we wanted to bring forth to make our city truly something that we all could believe in. Today, Mableton employs over 60 dedicated public servants, and we are a qualified city in good standing with the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. You know, we met our transition deadline, and yes, we are operating with a financial surplus. I was never in any doubt. I knew it was going to happen. Hire great people, let them do great works, and great things happen. You know, we had our first audit that was complete, and the first year, this year, we passed our first official budget. You know, and none of this happened by accident, as I meant before. It was a lot of hard work. It took planning, persistence, and leadership. And I'm not going to lie to you, that first year was grueling. It was hard. There was a lot of long nights. There was a lot of decisions that had to be made. There was a lot of coming together from a lot of people who had not came together before. There was a lot of figuring out between the county and the city what was going to happen and how we were going to work in our distinct areas. But we were able to save money, put together the building blocks in place to plan for the future. And that future would include a city manager that would take over the duties that I had been doing, that I was more than happy to get rid of. From an operations standpoint, being able to step in, and it took us a year. It took us a year to find the right leader. We looked across the nation, nationwide search to find the right person to bring in. We brought a lot of people in, we rejected a lot of people. But ultimately, we found the right person that had lived here all along for 30 years. He's a former chief petty officer of the Navy, a former county deputy fire chief, and now he's our city manager. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a huge thanks to our city manager, Bill Tanks. Bill, your steady hand has guided us through growing our staff, through launching our services, to proving that a brand new city can deliver. I just want to say we're all appreciative of your leadership, your willingness to take a chance on a flyer like us, and we're happy to have you, sir. But here's the part I'm most proud of. We didn't just build structure, we built trust. To those that said we were going to fail, that we could never make it, well, I hope you're not still holding your breath. Because look around. Here we stand. Here we stand. As I said before, the state of our city is strong, but the spirit of Mableton is even stronger. We may have started from nothing, but we're building something extraordinary. Together, we are proving that every single day, the idea of Mableton was never a mistake. It was a mandate. We're proving that the residents demand and deserve what they have always wanted and what they pushed through to see success at the ballot box. The Superior Court upheld it, and the Supreme Court of Georgia affirmed it. Mableton is here to stay, y'all. We ain't going nowhere. You know, one of the clearest messages I heard from our citizens when Mableton became a city was simple. Let's tackle the blight. Let's clean this city up and let's move forward. So last year, we've done just that. We created our Urban Redevelopment Agency, a powerful tool that gives us the ability to purchase and transform neglected properties into spaces of pride and possibility. In just a few months, we've gone from not owning a single blade of grass to having 12 acres right along Mableton Parkway that we were able to purchase for $2.1 million. You know, a lot of these sites that were once home to an abandoned developments and illegal dumping will now be the future of a brighter Mableton, where we can have green spaces, civic facilities, and other investments that reflect the pride of the people that deserve this in our city. You know, we purchased also land right next to Cobb Works, right near the sheriff's office and the fire station. What we have an idea of doing is making sure that we not only address blight, but we're also laying the groundwork to have an active civic core that can define this city for decades and decades to come. You know, what makes Mableton special isn't just our spot on the map. We're in a good location, don't get me wrong, but it's really about the people. It's about the culture, and it's about the spirit that we carry. You know, Mableton is a place where you can live, work, play, and yes, worship in a way that reflects the values of our service, of our community, that every great city should have. You know, I'm proud and thankful that I have this opportunity. And I know that as we move forward, those people who wasn't exactly sure about where we would go, we will continue to win them over. You know, we're not trying to be just another version of another city that exists somewhere else in Metro Atlanta. We're carving out our own identity here, one that's rooted in authenticity, diversity, and unity. We all don't look the same. We don't vote the same. We don't pray the same. We don't speak the same. But that's what gives us our strength. That's what makes this a place more than just a municipality. It makes it a home, a diverse, caring, and loving home. You know, the racial diversity in Mableton, it gets talked about a lot because we are diverse. You know, our ethnic groups from our African Americans are about 42.9%, followed by our Caucasian community, which is 29.7%. Hispanic population is roughly around 22%. And we also have a very growing African contingent here in Mableton, as well as a Haitian community. I was coming out of a grocery store the other day, and I could not pick up the dialect. Like, she's not speaking French. It's not Spanish. What is it? So to embarrass my kids even more, I just walked up and asked, hey, excuse me, I'm Michael Owens, Mayor of Mableton. What language is that? She says, oh, it's French Creole. Got it. Do you live here in Mableton? Absolutely. And I said, ma'am, and looked at her kids, welcome to our city. We're happy to have you. So every year we're finding ourselves in a city that is more and more diverse. And I know that from going in shopping centers, grocery stores, and the like. But as I've discovered, we are actually one of the most diverse cities and communities in the state of Georgia. A city where cultures blend, families grow, and innovation thrive. This year, we were actually ranked 13th in the most diverse cities in the state of Georgia. We were also named in the top 50 of the best suburbs to live in the state. Just last weekend, I welcomed hundreds of members from the Sri Lankan community right here in Nickajack Park, where they had their first ever cricket fest in the state of Georgia. Wow. Yeah. What's crickets? The game, not the insects. It's cricket. Cricket. This charitable event that they had was hosted by the Sri Lankan Foundation that drew people from far and wide. There was people from as far as North Carolina and Alabama that came. And I will tell you, it was great culture, great food, great sport, and a great example of how we continue to attract the world right here to Mableton. So by now, I kind of hope you're getting the gist of what I'm saying, right? Mableton's not just another suburb in Atlanta. We are a cultural destination. We are a creative heartbeat. We are a gathering place for fun, community, and for business. Where else can you find a family fun entertainment, enjoying the thrills and excitement of Six Flags Over Georgia during the day, and then minutes later, go right down the street and get entertained by world-renowned artists at the Mabel House Amphitheater? We have right here the Riverside Epicenter, which is not just a venue, it is a hub of inspiration, empowerment, and excellence. It's a place where business leaders, students come, where people learn, grow, and truly gain aspects of what it's like to be here and to connect with each other. For those of us that love to get into outdoors, as mentioned before in the video, we have the Silver Comet Trail that runs right through our city, connecting neighborhoods, parks, and families to nature, fitness, and fun that they can all do together. And soon we will have the Riverland Showcase, which will be a fantastic park that will give the city another great, unique opportunity, a defining place, a place where we can blend recreation, nature, innovation, and the Chattahoochee River right here at our fingertips. Where else are you going to find that in the state of Georgia, you guys? But our uniqueness is not built on these places. It's actually built on the people who fill those places. National outlets are starting to see this as well. What we've always known, that Mableton is not just a great place to work and live, but it's also a great place to retire. We were actually named by the third best city to retire in the state of Georgia in 2025 by Retirement Living. How do you like that? And it was explicitly stated it's because of our quality of life, our affordability, and our strong community fabric that we have here. We're a community that for generations, some of us have lived on the same land. Some of us have just gotten here a couple of years ago. I just met a guy who just moved in last week. There are many of us that came here in the 1990s when Atlanta was being shaped by the Olympics, when new corporations were coming in and opportunities were abound. And now we're welcoming a new wave of residents that are drawn here because of national corporations and international headquarters that are right down the street in the city of Atlanta. So it's only inevitable that we are going to grow. It's going to happen regardless. We are the past, we are the present, and we are the promise that somehow we can continue to find a way to live side by side, honoring the past, but also ushering us straight into the future. The blend of this legacy and newness that we balance is what gives Mableton its rhythm. It's what gives us our pulse. It's what makes us more than just a place on the map. It's what makes us Mableton. The growth in Mableton isn't just about being bigger. It's about building better and smarter. It's about creating a city that reflects the dreams of its people for those who are here now while welcoming those who are still yet to come. With our Mableton 2045 comprehensive plan, that's our blueprint. that's going to help pursue this growth in a smart, sustainable, and equitable way. We're not interested in just unchecked sprawl and development just continues to push people out. We want to make sure that we're committed to having a master plan that's designed with intention, that's rooted in community voice, and that's built around this shared opportunity that we all want to have. It's about creating a city where you can be born, raised, educated, employed, and fulfilled without ever having to leave the city unless you choose to. It's a Mableton where every home is for every family, where every classroom is a learner, where every storefront is an opportunity for an entrepreneur, and where the future is bright for every single one of our children. You know, I envision a city where you are valued no matter what your background is, no matter your income, no matter your journey. Whether you're just starting out, whether you're settled in, whether you're building with your own hands or you're building ideas with your mind, this city is going to be for you, and for you, and you. This is the promise of our growth. It's not just about expansion, it's about evolution. It's not just about buildings, it's about belonging. It's not just about change, but it's about changing with a purpose. You know, this year our city had new life breathed into it by revitalizing a storied landmark that we have here, which is our old fire station number 1. It's on Mableton Parkway, and it's been transformed into Cobb Works, which is a brand new worksource center, a beacon of hope and opportunity for our community, thanks to more than a $4 million adaptive use funds that came in. And this project is now a 10,000 square foot facility, which is going to offer career coaching, GED and literacy support, job placement assistance, professional development workshops, and even entrepreneurial incubation space, as well as co-working offices. You know, that place wasn't just about renovation. It was about reinvestment in our community. It was about turning an old firehouse into a hub that now serves over 10,000 job seekers. It's going to catalyze local development and growth. It's going to foster economic development and opportunities across the South Cobb area. And with support from the federal ARPA funds, county grants, and dedicated private donors and champion leaders, this was able to become a possibility. So I want to thank Chairwoman Cupid for championing this effort. Thank you. I would also like to thank Commissioner Monique Sheffield for helping get this center created and for donating funds for the computer lab for that facility. And I want to give a huge thank you to the person who made the center truly a reality, and that's its CEO, Sonia Grant. Congratulations to her. You know, that center stands now as an example of what thoughtful collaboration, want, and needs can actually achieve. The center is not just about jobs, it's now about transforming lives. It's about leveling the playing field, and it's about building a generational changes right here in Mableton. You know, when I was researching all these statistics to tell you more about Mableton, I found one that literally was a breath of fresh air. That's because our city was also ranked as the number 3 city in the state for air quality. How do you like that? How do you like that? You know, it's a designation that, quite frankly, means that our community has an opportunity to have some of the healthiest people in this state. I want to make sure we get there. You know, air quality and other things play a critical role in shaping public health, supporting child development, and safeguarding our citizens, including our seniors. And it's about enhancing the quality of life at every single stage. You know, in a region that's known for its frustrating traffic, it's urban, suburban living, the activities that we have going on, the idea that we can focus on having great air quality, great tree canopies is truly what's going to make us have a future when it comes to more healthy, habitable living. You know, I believe that every single resident, no matter their income, as I said before, no matter their background, or their neighborhood that they live in should feel less about where they live. I think every single person in Mableton deserves a place that they can have safe, feel healthy about where they are, and a place that's truly fit for them to live. That's why tomorrow, I'm optimistic that this city council would pass the safe and healthy housing ordinance that I created to make sure that every single person in Mableton has a habitable place to live. You know, this law is about more than just fines and inspections. It's about people living with dignity. It's about going beyond and further than what the state law did when they created a bill. It's about going further to ensure that we can hold landlords accountable, that we can give our city the tools to step in when necessary, that when housing becomes unfit for any human, that we step in and do the right thing that we should do. You know, at the heart of the ordinance, it says something really simple. It says that myself and our city council, our staff, truly respect its residents, will protect our children, will stand up to the rights for every single person to live in a safe home. And it doesn't stop there. You know, from the ground up, we've worked hard to build a smart, innovative, inclusionary city, and we want our policies to be able to reflect that. That's why as we continue to prepare for the future of Mableton, it's important that we put more of these things in place, because it's not just about what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is only indicative of the things that we put in place today. And those things we put in place today will hopefully carry us through to the next generation, and the generation after that, and the one after that. Housing is such a critical component, a critical piece to our vision. And I'm proud that earlier this year, we were actually able, through some of our earlier ordinances, to pass the first ever affordable housing trust fund right here in the city of Mableton. You know, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund is a bold initiative to support workforce housing, to protect long-term residents to make sure they can stay in their homes, and to expand access to affordable, dignified houses across this city of Mableton. To my knowledge, we're the only city right now in Cobb County to have an affordable trust fund, but hopefully we won't be the last. The work that we continue to do will hopefully put us in an opportunity to be a beacon going forward. This year, we also passed through an ordinance to allow accessory dwelling units, ADUs. You may know them as granny flats, she sheds, man caves count? I don't know, if they're out back, maybe they count. But, you know, this will allow a flexible, modern housing that creates opportunities, to create options for multi-generational families, for young professionals, and for aging residents alike. We want to provide more flexible opportunities, and this is the kind of housing policy that does that. It's not only smart, it's necessary. You know, we are moving forward with other aspects of this as well. And through an initiative that we put together called the Reimagining Housing Initiative, we are going to rethink the entire landscape of what residential development looks like. We're going to ensure that we can build, and what we build meets the needs of all of our residents, not just a few. Whether you're a teacher, a lineman, a firefighter, a small business owner, or a retiree, Mableton will have a place that you can finally call home. You know, becoming a city also meant going through a lot of training. You heard some of that before. And I've taken my fair share of that. But I wanted to talk about something specifically, which was being part of the Local Leaders Affordable Housing Cohort. This was hosted by the Atlanta Regional Commission, and I was also a member of the 2024 Regional Leadership Institute. Going through those programs, I had the opportunity to learn exactly how cities across the nation were having issues and seeing things. And I learned that we're confronting a lot of the same challenges, particularly around housing, that other areas are facing that we're seeing here. And the lesson is clear. This is not just a Mableton issue. This is an issue across the country. It's not just an Atlanta issue. It's a national crisis. Housing is an issue that we must delve into headfirst, and it requires bold leadership. You know, some of that ARC training, we got a lot of facts and figures. One of those that stuck with me was by 2050, Metro Atlanta is projected to grow over 2.9 million people. 2.9 million. Bringing the region's population more than 8.6 million people. And let me tell you, we're gonna get our fair share of those, for sure. Much of that growth will happen along this western corridor, which is gonna put us right in the line of sight of growth. So we're next, it's coming. We can't stop it. So it's important that we plan for it. And how do we do so? Through smart growth, through planned growth, to ensure that we have equitable growth that's going to work, that the people here that are already here are respected, but we also remain welcome to those people who will come. And that's why I asked the Mableton Development Authority to partner with the Cobb Chamber, to partner with the Council of Quality Growth, the Greater Atlanta's Home Builders Association, and with our very own economic department to host a developer day in the city this coming spring. We want to let them know that Mableton is here to work with them, to make sure that our residents are heard, and we grow and develop in a sustained, plannable way. It'll be a day where we open up our city to regional developers, to top builders, to investors, to innovators. We don't want to create a city that shuns them. We want to create a city that knows that they're supported, but they're going to play by our rules. They're going to make sure they respect the wishes and concerns of our 80,000 citizens. And we're going to make it clear that we are ready for that right kind of planned growth, that thoughtful growth that we all need and deserve. A growth that does not displace, but a growth that includes. A growth that doesn't divide us, but a growth that builds bridges. You know, we're shaping a future here with smart zoning, with strong code enforcement, and a community-first development that's going to make all of us work together. We're creating neighborhoods that are beautiful, that are walkable, and that are built to last. Together, it's my hope that we are laying the foundation, the groundwork for transformational development that this city, that this community has needed for decades. You know, as we move forward through these projects, I want to make sure that we keep our city's identity, that we move forward with our Mableton 25 Comprehensive Plan with an unwavering commitment to those core values that I spoke about earlier. This is how we start to build the next generation of Mableton. This is how we build our economic story. This is how we make sure that this growth benefits everyone and how we start to move forward with our next chapter. Speaking of next chapters, I want to make sure we give a moment tonight to talk about where we're going. Because we're building a new city that we all have to realize that we're setting the foundation for a place in future generations that will be home to many people long after all of us in this room here tonight are gone. We are truly setting precedents in a way that's truly meaningful. As we look ahead to 2026, I'm proud that we've approved our first budget that reflects our values, priorities, and our vision for our city. You know, the budget was guided by priorities, by your priorities, set by myself and our city council that is based on things that we heard directly from you. You told us you wanted to have fiscal soundness, that you want to ensure that every dollar that we have works as hard as it can for you. You wanted to make sure that we had community engagement, that we funded programs and initiatives that would bring our businesses and our residents closer together. You wanted to make sure we had green initiatives, that we supported sustainability, clean energy, and environmentally responsible projects. You wanted to make sure that we had housing initiatives. Again, housing that was affordable and attainable to every family. We wanted to make sure that we had that managed growth represented in our budget, that we planned for thoughtful development and planned for budgeting that we could move forward with progress and character. Technology and innovation was one of those things, well, I might have slid that in myself, but technology and innovation was really important. The fact that we could have smart city solutions that would make us more effective, more safe, more streamlined, and where our dollar would go further than it would if we did not have smart technical solutions in place. You wanted to make sure that we had redevelopment efforts that was going to be responsible. Make sure that revitalization of our neighborhoods, but we still preserved those things that made Mableton special. So that was the foundation of our budget.
and I'm proud that we were able to get that passed. Our budget was $13 million. And that may not sound like a lot compared to many other cities that actually do levy property taxes. But it's amazing, simply amazing what we've been able to do and what we will do with our budget. You know, our funding comes primarily from a few different sources. It comes from the sale of motor vehicles, from franchise fees, from business taxes, and insurance premiums. Did I say we don't have a local property tax? I mentioned that? We don't. We don't. As a matter of fact, July of 2023, July of 2024, and July of 2025, with the support of our council, I signed to say that our millage rate in the city of Mableton will be 0.00. That was a commitment that we made early on, and it's a commitment that we will keep as long as we absolutely can. You know, we're projected to fully fund this city and all the departments and everything that our city manager wants, because we believe in providing quality of service to all of our residents. And still, as we look to move forward, we want to make sure that we maintain fund balance. And I think of this year, this budget is a fund balance of over $3 million. So that gives us some stability, and it gives us some flexibility for the future. So this budget also allows us to make strategic investments in our community. And those investments are going to be key to our growth. Nearly $500,000 we've put towards our partnership with Cobb Tourism and Travel to launch our very own Visitors and Tourism Authority that we're calling Meet Mableton. And it's important, while we have Cobb Tourism, and there's lots of great things, if you heard already, that's in Mableton, the amphitheater, Six Flags, they're going to continue to advertise things that are in Mableton. But we need to have an agency and authority to make sure that we're advertising for Mableton. So as we go forward, we want to make sure that Mableton is a great destination for visitors, families, businesses alike. Do we have debt? Of course we have debt. We do. But we have to use it in a way that's wisely and that's built upon strong relationships. We already are building relationships with banking partners to make sure we get good rates and that we are building trust. To satisfy this debt, we've allocated over $1.4 million to capital projects, including the purchase of key properties that will fuel revitalization in areas that is most need of economic development, opportunity, and renewal. You know, we're also investing in enhanced community beautification efforts. That is something that you asked. We want to make sure that this city looks as we want it to look. So we're making certain initiatives in neighborhoods across our city that will make sure that we have a greener, cleaner, and more healthy Mableton. You know, I'm incredibly proud of this budget because it demonstrates that city government does not need to be the largest or the wealthiest to be the most effective. What matters is vision, leadership, and a commitment to our residents. I want to take a moment to thank our finance director, Karen Ellis. Where are you, Karen? Where are you, Karen? Thanks to your team, and thanks to the City Council for the support in getting this budget approved. Together, we are building a city that is fiscally responsible, that boldly take on ambitious efforts, and to make sure that we are ready for the future. And together, we're moving forward with purpose and vision. We're partnering with Cobb County to ensure that Mableton continues to have one of the best public safety systems in the county. Did I say that right? No, hold on. Not the county. One of the best public safety systems in the country. Let's get that right. Let's get that right. The work that they've done, the efforts that we've seen going into the Real-Time Crime Center, thank you guys for inviting us there and letting us see how sophistication and technology is used without the overreach that sometimes can plague our communities. We appreciate the work that our public safety directors do, that all of our public safety officers to keep us safe, to protect our families, our seniors, our children, and introducing new innovations so you can respond faster with more accurate and keen information. You know, we're going to continue efforts around environmentally friendly efforts. We've talked about before about my Mableton 2035 initiative, and the EV doesn't stand for electric vehicles, although I'm going to continue to push that. It really stands for environmental vision. It's about taking bold steps to build a cleaner, greener, and dare I say, healthier Mableton to make sure that we preserve the environment, that we became stewards of the environment, and that we continue to increase the quality of life we have here. And we've already taken bold steps in this effort. We do, as mentioned before, we have one of the only 100% electric vehicle fleets in the country, right here in Mableton, Georgia. We've offering discounts to trash haulers who use alternative vehicles or electric vehicles. We're embracing a digital-first approach across city government. We're moving forward to a paperless office, hopefully. I'm allergic to paper, y'all. It freaks me out a little bit. I love our trees. I want to protect and make sure that we're operating as effectively and efficiently as possible. So it's an effort that we call digital first, paper less. And we will get there, right, Mr. Manager? Yes, sir. Indeed. You know, our operations office is already doing great work down on Mableton Parkway. We've launched our handheld electronic recycling drop-off center. If you've got an old phone, a pager, whatever that may be, bring it by the office. Did I say a beeper? I didn't say beeper, I said pager. Some of you guys still have pagers, right? Maybe the public safety guys, I don't know. In data centers, they still have pagers. They definitely do. So what we want to do is make sure we offer opportunities to have safe, responsible, local place where you can bring these type of devices. And thanks to our partnership with eCycle Atlanta, we're able to do this in a way that's safe and that it will be recycled. At the same location, we've also partnered with Food Well Alliance to ensure that we can do composting right here in Mableton so our residents can help turn food waste into nutrient-rich compost that benefits our community and the environment. These are but a few of the environmental things that we're going to continue to do, and I'm proud of those things and many, many more to come on the environmental front. You know, we're also tackling a lot of tough things that many other cities are as well. You know, I talked to city mayors from not only Metro Atlanta, but from across the country, and we're all dealing with very challenging things. We're dealing with trying to continue to reduce crime, to address homelessness, to make sure we're building more affordable and workforce housing, to make sure that our homes are safe and that they are in reach. The prices of those are in reach. We know what's happening with the cost of homes, the cost of bread, and the cost of everything else. We have to make sure we're doing what we can to make sure this is still an affordable community for our teachers, for our nurses, for first responders, and for every family that's out there striving to make ends meet. We hear you. We understand the challenges, and as a city, we're here to support efforts to make things better. You know, we're laying the foundation for our Parks and Recreation Division that will serve residents of all ages, places where we can have spaces where children can play. They can be on Little League teams, where teams can explore opportunities about what their future may be, where they can dream further than they ever thought they could, where seniors can gather. We are planning for a future that we're careful about maintaining the growth, but also determining how we invest in our future. We're going to be careful to make sure that when we look at our SPLOST dollars, we're doing so in a way that can improve and grow and build our infrastructure that Mableton needs. We're behind in some areas. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's work that we need to do. There's work with our infrastructure. There's work with our bridges. There's work with our roads. We will get there. We will build more roads. We will build more sidewalks. We will build more trails. We will build more civic places. You know why? Because it matters. Because it matters. It matters to you, and it matters to the pride of the city that every single one of you deserve a place that you can be incredibly proud of, and we want to make sure that we deliver that. So as we continue to expand our civic engagement, we want to make sure we bring more citizens into our government. This is coming this year as we're planning to establish our Commission on Aging. We're going to establish our Housing Commission, and we're also going to explore the formation of an actual housing authority. We're going to move forward with creating our Downtown Development Authority, where we can focus on revitalization of the core of our downtown, and we can focus on making sure that we preserve the history that Mableton has through our historic Mableton Preservation Commission. We're going to be tasked with taking the oldest parts of our city and making them walkable, making them livable, and ensuring that everyone's proud of the history, the rich history that we have here in Mableton. You know, this city has a goal. Thank you. You know, the city has a goal of making Mableton more pedestrian friendly, to create a safer place where we can walk, bike, and be connected to all of our neighbors. That is what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're committed to remaining fiscally sound, responsible for your tax dollars, being strategic with our investments, and to be disciplined when it comes to our budgeting. For the third year in a row, as I said, we have not had property taxes, we have had fund balances, and we'll continue to do so to make sure that you are proud of this work that we're doing, and you know that when fear, uncertainty, and doubt creep in, we're going to be there to hold true. Thank you. That's going to keep more money in your pockets and find more ways to make sure that you have an innovative way to continue to live, to make sure that as prices go up, you're able to meet those, and we find a way to do that in this city. This is how Mableton will move forward. Mableton will move forward with courage, with care, and with a commitment to every single resident. This work has just begun, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, let us remember, Mableton is not just one of Georgia's newest cities. Mableton is one of Georgia's next great cities. What we are doing here, we are building with intention, we are governing with equity, and we are dreaming with courage. To our residents, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for believing in our journey. To our council, to our staff, thank you. Thank you for walking beside me on this journey. And to our residents who not only want Mableton to make sure that there's a place that we live, but it's a place where families can put down roots, where businesses can thrive, where veterans can be respected, where our seniors can have a place that they call home, where our students can excel beyond their wildest expectations. So let us move forward with confidence, Let us dream bigger, let us build smarter, let us rise higher, let us make Mableton not just a city that we live in, but a city that we are proud to call home. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, the spirit of Mableton is unshakable, the state of our city is strong, and the best days of this city is still ahead. In the iconic words of Mr. Russell Simmons, thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Saying hi to you.